What's good, everybody? This is your man, Johnnie Mobley Jr., and welcome to another episode of Chop It Up. In the studio today, I got one of my favorite people in the world, my son-in-law, Mr. Gifford. AJ, I'm not calling you General. You say you ain't General no more, so we ain't calling you General.
Yeah, old school thing.
Old school, all right.
It kind of sticks a little bit.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, that's cool.
I like it. General mean
I
you.
went by for so long. It's like now you kind of adult. I can't really go by that.
I feel you. You feel you.
It works.
Yeah. So what's going on, man?
Nothing much. Just enjoying the summer. After my first year being a teacher, so just enjoying this first summer vacation. You know, being off and just kind of really right now just doing football.
Yeah.
So just enjoying this summer, being able to spend time with my family, rest a little bit.
Yeah.
Before you know it, we'll be back inside of that classroom.
Doing it again.
Yep.
That's what's up, man. So I just wanted to take a time, and I wanted everybody to just kind of be privy to this conversation. Me and you've talked a while. You've been in our life for a good little minute now. So I feel like you my son, and in love. I don't like the in-law thing. So, but just wanting to go through. You have a amazing life where you started from to where you are now. And I've told you before, I think you're an acceptable young man because of your wisdom.
Thank you.
Tell me, where do you feel like that's based off of? Where did you get that wisdom from?
My trio. Yeah, I've always called them my trio before I added, my wife to the group. But my mom, my dad, my grandma, those three people all played a very vital role in very different ways.
Yeah.
Like they all, when you look at a pie chart, they split it in three, and they all took their parts, and they like mastered their parts.
Yeah.
And it was like, it wasn't really planned. You can tell they weren't really planning things, but the way that they handled things and the way they treated me and put into me, it all kind of meshed into what I can actually see now. Like all before in the past, I never was able to see it and really understand why.
Yeah.
It was always a why. But now it's like, it's friggin' clear. I see everything and I fully understand what was going on my entire childhood.
Yeah, that's crazy because you grab a hold of it at a pretty young age, man, because the decisions that you've made, throughout your life, it's been major. They've been great choices, man. Right now, what would you say? Well, let me ask you, I'm going to say this. In the beginning, what would you say you thought your identity and purpose was?
Well, coming up, I felt like my identity really was just being a student athlete, really. And I played sports, so it's really just doing what I needed to do in the classroom and being great on the field or on the court or wherever, anything like that. But as in my purpose, I didn't really know what my purpose was.
Yeah.
Until I believe actually once I graduated from college and I came home and a great friend of mine and really started out training, but now he's more so like a brother to me, Javante Middleton. He's at the Citadel now. Yeah. And I've always been like a mentor, big brother in his life for a very long time. And I came home that year I graduated, and I got an opportunity to finally get to see him in person play high school. Because all before I always saw like film, he would send me stuff and watch highlights, but I never got a chance to see him in person. So getting that opportunity to see him in person, and I just was I was getting frustrated because he wasn't having a really good game.
Yeah.
And I've always said that in Savannah, the biggest issue was always quarterback play.
Yeah.
Because like during my era, I came out and was able to go to college, but that's it. Yeah. It was like guys weren't going to college for quarterback before, guys weren't going to college for quarterback after. And it's like nowadays it's totally different. But it was just an area to where anytime a quarterback in Savannah, they went to college to play receiver, defensive back. It was always another position. They never went to college to be a collegiate quarterback.
Right.
And I knew he was getting recruited and going through the process and things like that. And sitting at that game, and I just kind of led into the wanting to train because I was already kind of training him, but it was just like him.
Yeah.
It wasn't like other guys. And it's like I just kind of started with him, and then from there I started to pick up other guys, and then slowly but surely I started to realize, as I got older, my purpose is ultimately to be that person that I strive for when I was younger.
Yeah.
Playing quarterback since I was 5 years old, going through that whole process, my dad being my quarterback coach my entire life, and he never played quarterback. So he really didn't understand what it was like commanding the huddle and things like that. And everything that he learned was kind of like grabbing book, asking people questions, trying to figure things out. Because back then it wasn't Google, it wasn't YouTube, it wasn't anything to really give you a blueprint on how to build a quarterback.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of like wear and tear. A lot of just learning, a lot of just going. And just with that whole process, it was like being there for this next generation of guys, like being that I done went through high school, college, and did everything. I feel as though me personally, I've achieved everything I wanted to sports-wise. I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't want to put no cleats back on. They've been hung up for a while now.
Yeah.
So it's like now I can be that big brother, that mentor to guys who are going to college now and guys who are in middle school, guys who are in elementary school, guys who strive to become a collegiate quarterback or a professional quarterback one day. I can just be there, just kind of answer some of those questions, let you know that top to bottom, this is not an easy job.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot on the field and off the field because being a quarterback, guys come to you when it's off the field. If it's girl trouble, if it's schoolwork, if it's family issues, they're coming to you. So at the same time, you got to be able to balance your lifestyle and what you have going on and be able to balance your teammates' lifestyle and be able to do your job on the field. So it's a lot that comes with it, and there's a lot of pressure that comes with it. So I just try to help guys understand and guide them to let them know, like, that whole process, that if you really want to, you can actually do it and achieve it, but you got to be up for that challenge to really be a quarterback.
Yeah, that's crazy, man, the responsibility that you just laid out that a quarterback has. And I know every team member, every position got responsibility.
Yeah.
But it's when you put it the way you just did, it's clear now that the quarterback is the leader of the team. So why not come to him when you got girl problems or anything else? Because they look at you as the leader of the team.
That is true.
That's crazy, man.
It's tough.
That's crazy, man.
It's tough.
So you've been through stuff like that.
Yeah. Especially high school, kind of mainly bits and pieces, but it really hit, I think, college. Because it's like college, you're on your own.
Yeah.
There's no mama right next door. There's no mama at the house I can go talk to. It's kind of like everything is on campus and things are just happening.
Yeah.
And so it's like most of the time guys come to you and you got to kind of be there for them. At the same time, you could be battling something from back home or something personal, your schoolwork. You just failed the test. And it's like whatever, but you still got to be able to get yourself together. To be there for them, answer their questions, be their confidant, be their brother for them, and help them be able to move forward.
Wow.
So,
that's crazy. You learned that at a young age.
Yeah.
All right. When you was younger, do you remember the dreams you might have had, the aspirations as a young kid, what you wanted to do? Was it always football?
That's a tough one because I battled back and forth between football and basketball.
Okay.
I think I didn't make that choice for football until high school, but back and forth, it was always, I wanted to play both. So whatever one really picked me, I was going to go with that one.
Okay.
So it's like I just always had this aspiration to be an NBA or NFL player. That was about it.
Yeah.
That's all I ever dreamed of. But, when reality hits, reality hits.
Yeah, there you go. We will get into some of that. Yeah, I was pretty good at football, but I wanted to be a basketball player. And I'm going to be straight up. I couldn't. I was a set shooter, so I can shoot. If I was set up somewhere, I can hit the. I always wanted to dunk. So when I did play football in high school, I remember working my legs out like stupid just so I can get enough ups to dunk. I dunked one time, and then I felt like I won a championship or something. And then that was it. I just got out of everything, man. I didn't want to. I don't know. I just didn't have a love for football. I was pretty good, but I just didn't have a love for that. I wanted basketball. I had no court. I can't dribble. Couldn't cross nobody up. None of that stuff. But yeah, I guess if I'd have worked harder at it, it would have worked out. But it is what it is.
I know why most guys pick basketball over football.
Why?
Because they can be seen.
Yeah. I ain't never thought about that.
Because in basketball, they can see your face. In football, they can't.
Yeah.
See your face, but that's
They know the quarterback, they know the running back, they might know a wide receiver, but left tackle.
They'll know your jersey number, but they'll never know what you look like.
I ain't never thought about that.
Yeah.
Ah, darn, you out here teaching me something. So we already answered this. What age you started playing football at 5? And you said what other sports you wanted to play was basketball or football, whichever one you pick. All right, high school and college, you went through that. The direction you saw your career going in football was NFL, right? So that's what that's what you was aiming for. That's what you was working hard for. That's what you was going after. And then I know in college, You got that phone call that everybody, because I got the phone call. When I got the phone call, and my girlfriend then, who's my wife now, she called and she said, "Hey, I'm pregnant." And I said, "Let me call you back." That's exactly what I said. It was a pause in between, but I told her, "Let me call you back," because that was something I couldn't comprehend, because I had dreams and stuff too. So you got the phone call. I'm pregnant. What went through your head?
Shock. Ultimately, just shocked, stunned. Didn't really know because it's like, and honestly, but before that point, I was already at that point in life where I started understanding that football wasn't going to be it. Because I played with guys when I was a freshman in college that were all conference, all American. I mean, had the accolades top to bottom. And we were all thinking like, and that was the first time my freshman year of college where I watched the NFL draft from one all the way to the end. Because I just knew that, oh, my teammate's going to be selected.
Yeah.
And it's like when he didn't get selected and that whole undrafted process, he didn't get a chance. And I'm like, just imagine playing quarterback. It's only one of you.
Yeah.
When you're a skill guy, they can bring in 5 DBs,
Right.
5 receivers, 5 running backs. They can do all the other stuff. But for a quarterback, they're not bringing in that many guys. Right. So it's like having that reality check then is when I was like, this may not be, I would have to put up ridiculous numbers to get a chance.
Right.
And so it's like I was already kind of battling that. And then once I did get that call, it was like a reality check.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of on the inside just trying to battle what was next. What was next? Like, what kind of life do you want to live? How do you see yourself in the future? How do you want to represent yourself in the future? So it's like I was trying to go through that mentally, just trying to figure out like what's going to be my next move, what I'm going to do, what's going to be my next move. And it was tough mentally because it was a situation where I kept everything internal. Yeah. I didn't share it with many people. I didn't discuss it with many people. So I didn't get much feedback. It was just kind of like me trying to figure out everything inside. What can I do to still be great? Yeah. Like, what can I do to be great? Like, to present myself a boy or girl, how can I still be great in the future and put out a representation that, hey, my dad is, X this person, you know? And I say that because of my dad. Yeah. And I've always, like, my dad is, I am my dad. Yeah. Technically. I'm like my dad, but at a younger age, but a lot smarter. Yeah. Because I was able to have him as a coach. Right. So it's like him, I'm a younger representation of him, but I know how he was to me as a father, as a dad. Yeah. I can always look in the stands, he was there. Yeah. Anything academic wise, he was there. And it may not always have been the best. Yeah. But it always had meaning behind it. And it's great now because now we can actually talk about it. And I joke and I'd be like, hey, you remember when you did such and such? Yeah. And the meaning behind that, I saw that now because this happened and then that. He was like, oh, you remember that? And I'd be like, yeah. Like, it's crazy because it's like almost like a traumatizing feeling thing. Yeah. But it's like, it worked out because that lesson you taught me then is working for me now, maybe 10, 15 years later. But it's still sitting there in the back of my brain. So when life do pop up, hey, I'm ready and I'm able to get through those things. So it's like seeing him and having him in my life, being such a great father that he was and the great father that he is till this day. Yeah. Till this day. And it's kind of like I was like, I that tradition I had to carry it on. Yeah. And him, he embedded in me since day one. It's really all about your last name meaning something. Yeah. So it's representing that last name of Guilford. So it's like he represented, he did what he had to do. And now it's my turn to do what I need to do in my life and make sure for the third, Alan Wayne Gifford the third, that he take care of everything in his life. Right. So I expect by the time he's my age, he's going to be
light years,
double of what I am. Yeah. And that's my expectation. Yeah. Because it's like if my dad was able to do that and then I'm able to do this, the blueprint is going to be completely laid out for him to be even greater, and it'll just continue on down the generations to where it just gets easier.
That's a legacy. Mm-hmm. That's what a legacy is built on, bro. Definitely. For real. That's crazy, man. So you got the call. I don't know. So the process that you went through. So I'm gonna go ahead and say the special 3 in your life. Mm-hmm. Living with them, having them put things into your life, enhance you, give you advice. That it might then you might didn't comprehend it then, but it was there.
Mm-hmm.
And when you got the call, you was able to pull from that, even though you stayed internal.
Right.
So you didn't try to look for nothing to make you forget it. You ain't try to, go drink, go smoke,
Mm-hmm.
do none of this stuff, try to forget it. You said, what can I do from here? How can I build from here? So the support that you had when you was young, it helped. Even though you didn't understand it then,
Oh yeah.
you was able to pull from it then.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Till this day, I still little bits and pieces that they've instilled.
Yeah.
It's just I can always kind of rely back on. And sometimes I just call just to kind of get a little, just give me a little something.
Yeah.
Give me a little bit. I might need that extra that you used to kind of give me.
Yeah.
I might need a little extra that just to get me over this little hump.
Yeah, that's
like
good,
that. So
man.
I definitely still appreciate that.
That's good. So you came to grips that football might not have been the right move.
Mm-hmm.
Then right when you was making that decision with that, you found out you had a son on the way, and then you made other decisions to get moving. So you finished college, and then you came back home. And then when you came back home, what was your life goal then? Like what was you targeting when you came back?
Well, plan A really wasn't a good plan. My original plan A.
To be in the NFL?
No, my original plan A for when I came home
Oh, okay.
wasn't a good plan. My original plan A was I was planning on relocating back to Raleigh. I was planning on getting an apartment. Didn't have a job. Didn't have no foundation.
Yeah.
And it was like I was trying to move too fast because it's like you go from a situation to where you're living on your own, you're in your own city, doing your own thing, and it's like now I got to come back home to rules and regulations and all that. Different type of stuff.
I got you. Yeah.
So it's like battling that, and it's like okay, I gotta get back to Raleigh because it's like all my college friends, everybody is still in that area, so I kind of want to get back to that area.
Yeah.
So having that reality check, going through that, trying to figure things out, and I'm like, I think my dad asked me this one day. He was like, "Oh, so you got a job already?" Like just in a subliminal way.
Yeah.
He was like, "You got a job already?" And I was like, "No, what I need a job for?" Because I'm thinking in my head like, y'all gonna help me out.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna spoon feed me.
Y'all got me
For 3-4 months and make sure I'm good, and then by the time I get a job, and then it's like, okay, we'll let you go, we'll be fine. And it's like that was my first mistake of really not understanding my dad and my mom portion of what they instilled in me coming up. Yeah. I didn't see that until I had that moment, and I kind of had that feeling to trying to figure that situation out. And then once I kind of did that situation, it was like, okay, back to the drawing board. How can I build myself up to establish myself to be just great? Yeah. I just want to be, different. Like I said, I've always pride myself in being different from everybody else. Yeah. I don't do nothing like nobody else. Yeah. I like to be in my own lane. And so it's like, how can I do, besides sports and how my life was in the past, academic-wise, being great in the classroom, being great in the field, on the court, all those different type of things, was able to separate myself from other guys. But how can I do that now in this real world? Yeah. Like as an adult, how can I separate myself from the pack and be different? And it's like when I kind of went back to that drawing board, and my mom's big into the financial credit recovery type things. Like she volunteers and helps with that all the time. Yeah. So she was doing the first time home buyer, which is really big for a lot of people. And so she used to always tell me about it, things like that. And then she mentioned one day, she was like, you need to get in that program. And I'm thinking in my head, like, I'm not trying to stay home for a whole nother year and a half. Like, I'm trying to get going ASAP. I'm trying to find me an apartment. So I'm still thinking, like, get an apartment, go this route. And she was like, you need to come do the home buyers class. Came and did the class and got that opportunity. 6 months later, was able to kind of start that process going, got myself established, got myself going, then was able to purchase my first home at the age of 23. 23. I bought it for my 24th birthday gift for myself.
Let me tell you something. And we was there for that. Let me explain something to you how important that is. That was a transformation moment. I never knew the importance of credit, period. Mm-hmm. So by the time I understood what credit was, our credit was shot. Mm-hmm. So my whole thing was, and the decisions that you make, so being in an apartment, something crazy happening, you paying this amount, you can't pay no more, you just dip. That goes on your credit.
Correct.
You find something else, so you get 3-4 of them up under your belt. That just making your credit. So, and this at 23, I was just trying to, Lord Jesus, I was having kid after kid after kid with my wife, and it was just crazy. So somehow life was moving at this pace, and you got in it and got this focus that kind of set you apart at 23.
And like I said, it came from those two pieces of that puzzle, because nothing ever in my life came easy.
Yeah.
And it's like, even when I had those successful moments, name in the paper, front page news, and all that different cool stuff,
Yeah.
I still went home and faced reality. Like, moms was still in my ear, like, you still ain't that good. You need to get back to work.
Yeah.
And it was always kind of like, but lady, I just went and did this and did that. But
Yeah.
it's like, you always got something to say, but it was a motivational, as in, you got to keep working. You never get content. You never get comfortable, because life is going to keep coming at you.
Yeah.
And my dad always preached to me, like, as a male child, you have to understand, once you grow up and you become a man, you're on your own. Nobody gonna do nothing for you. No government. Ain't nobody gonna come in here and look out for you. And he already used to say, well, you already know your mama ain't gonna do nothing.
Yeah.
You know your mama ain't gonna, she the same way.
Yeah.
As you, as a male child, your foot gotta hit the floor.
Yeah.
And that's her saying, your foot gotta hit the floor. So it wasn't like she was gonna cut me no slack. The only person I was gonna get that slack from was that other piece of the pie.
Grandmama.
But still, with that other piece of the pie, when it came to those things, I didn't rely on her for that. I just relied on her for the comfort and the confidence to continue to make those different strides and do those different things in my life. So it's like, seeing that and understanding that and understanding everything that they put into me, is like, I set out on that mission, and like I said, being the man that I wanted to be and want to separate myself, and what kind of lifestyle I wanted to provide for the third.
Yeah.
And my whole motivation was like, technically, this is my starter home. This is his house.
Yeah.
This is his house. This is my starter home. I'm going to be here for 15 years, do what I got to do. I'm moving on to the next. This is my piece of rental property. Here, boom. Once he get himself situated, you got a place to stay. I'm gone. Now you got your rental property. So when I'm gone, you got my next house. You have my current house. So already, when you become 20 years old, you got 2 rental properties up under your name. So you got 2 houses that could be possibly worth $500,000 under your name.
Yeah.
Already. So you already established with something. So I'm already laying it out for you.
Yeah.
Now you just can't fumble this.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing my part. I feel as though to lay everything out for you to create the best life as possible for you. Like I said, my dad did his part. He got me to this point. Now with the third, it's not for me to do my part and lead on.
Right.
And it's going to just continue to create that generational wealth. And that's what I say, is like, it's huge with my dad with our last name, because we take like true pride in it.
Yeah.
We take true pride in it, because like we have to represent. We have to represent, because we don't slack. We take care of our business.
Yeah.
Simple and plain. We gotta do what we gotta do to be great. So
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's good stuff. Most men should be proud of their last name. I'm a junior, and I know what my dad did and still do to make sure he take care of stuff. So, and my mind was a little different, because I had a bunch of kids in the beginning, and didn't really know what to do with that. So, but getting through it, trying to go home and leave everything. Mama say, come on home. You can come on. No, let me take that back. Daddy said, you can come on home, son, take a break. Then they'll give me a sandwich or something and say, you can't sleep here. You got to go home. That type stuff. So everybody had their own way of how they did stuff, man. And, I think it was good that certain things were done certain ways. Just like you said, they didn't know everything.
No.
They didn't get everything right. But the stuff that stuck was the stuff that needed to stay.
correct.
So I think that's great, man. I think you on a,
Yeah, definitely. I truly appreciate the trio.
Yeah.
Definitely appreciate the trio.
So you already pretty much answered this one. How did your son change your perspective and direction in life? You already
my focus.
Yeah.
My focus is just completely different now. Is than the way I am now than where I thought in high school or even in college is nowhere near.
Yeah.
It's like each year, each day, I just try to get better and improve at something.
Yeah.
Just to be that person that I can just rely on if one of my quarterbacks have any questions. Because like at the same time I'm training you to be a quarterback, at the same time I'm training you about life also.
Yeah, that's good.
Because I'm explaining to you like, hey, I did this, you can do this too.
Yeah.
So I'm teaching you now about credit cards, loans, all those different type of things that so once you get to that point, you'll be prepared. So it's like it turns into quarterback training, but also life training at the same time. So it's like I just continue to try to improve myself because if they ask me a question, I want to be able to have an answer.
Yeah.
If especially if it's nothing I didn't experience, I want to be able to give them an answer or be able to find the answer to help them out.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and jump into this real quick. So quarterback keeper, you started a company. So this is the brilliance of this because your heart was football.
Yeah.
That's what you were planning on doing. You got throws some curveballs, you got some side hits, and you was up against the rope, and then you said, okay, let me get my footing, let me make some good choices and stable myself. And then somehow football came back into your life. Yeah. You created your own company, quarterback keeper. Tell me about that.
That was not planned at all.
Yeah.
It was something that I mentioned it. I said that, I want to start working with quarterbacks because I'm just tired of the quarterback play in Savannah.
Yeah.
It's just like year in and year out, it's the same. You're just a great runner and then nothing.
Yeah.
So it's like I said that and I kind of voiced my frustration one day. Me and my mom was at the game and I kind of voiced my frustration and she said, you should just train quarterbacks. And I was like, nah. I shied completely away from it. And she came back to it. She was like, I think you train quarterbacks. I was like, nah, I don't want to get into it. So I was talking with Javante and things like that. And me and him was still, we were still mentoring, we were still working, doing things like that. And I'm just like, if you're able to reach this individual, what can happen if you can reach another one? And then maybe 5 more or maybe 10 more. Like how can you help build up young men until so they, once they get to that point and they're in adulthood, they can be that man of the house and be able to understand and take care of their family and know what it's like day in and day out, what it's like to be the head of a household. So battling with that for a while, and then it's like, okay, I'm gonna do it. Came up with the name quarterback keeper, and it wasn't really taken seriously. It was just like working with a couple of guys here and there.
Yeah.
Working with a couple of guys here and there, doing some things. Working with a couple of guys at the same time. We still building that lifestyle. Yeah. Building that, teaching them and helping them. And then Javante ended up circling back again. He his senior year going into at Jenkins. His senior year, he asked me about coaching one day just randomly. And I was like, nah, bro. Like I told him, no. Like I told myself in the past, never wanted to get into coaching. People ask you that when you get towards the end of your college career. You want to coach. And I'm like, nah, like I never want to really get into that.
Yeah.
Another saying of me, trying to get away from my plan when God got a completely different plan for me. So it's like I'm trying to do my own thing and he trying to tell me, hey, listen up, knucklehead. I'm trying to tell you something.
Yeah.
So in the midst of that, it's like he approached me about it. I told him no. And he invited me out to a 7-on-7, knowing that it was kind of a setup in a way. Yeah. He had already kind of put the bug in the ear, and he had already ran it by me, but he already know I wasn't really feeling it like that. But it was like, I'm going to put him in this element, and maybe he might like it. And so it's like being that element, watching him hands-on, things like that, and like the time that I'm watching him, I'm talking to myself as in, hey, follow through on this or do that. And I'm like, you can be down there in his ear and actually telling him that so that next rep, he won't make that same mistake.
Yeah.
So I started thinking that way a little bit. And then it's kind of like he meshed me up with the head coach. We talked, we chat. He offered me a position to be a quarterback coach. Thought about it for a little while. And I accepted originally just to kind of, first off, from my alma mater, school that I played for and, but to also be able to coach Javonte. It was really just coaching him his senior year. And I just, kind of just fell into that. But at the same time, it was coaching him this year, coaching him his senior year. And then here come this freshman that rolls in, Patrick Blake, which is going off to Shaw University this year. He's already there.
Yeah.
So, but technically he's a college quarterback at this moment. But it's like at the same time, this freshman rolls in named Patrick Blake. And it's like seeing him, I knew day one, like, and I would tell the guys, I'd be like, hey, he's going to go to college. And I used to tell him, like, he's going to be better than Javonte.
Yeah.
We used to be like, oh, no, he's not. He's going to be better than Javonte. Because I knew immediately, like, his demeanor, that he can handle this.
Yeah.
Like, he can handle those type of atmospheres, those different type of challenges, and not be fazed, not be bothered. Yeah. But it's like, seeing that as a freshman, he was raw. He didn't really have the mechanics. He was just a raw, talented kid. But you saw that he had the structure. He had the discipline. So it's like seeing him and at the same time just telling him, hey, follow behind Javonte. Like, be in his ear. Like, for his senior year, you want to be on his hip pocket. Everything that he does, says, pay attention. Even when it's on the field, off the field, pay attention. So I kind of latched him directly to him. Yeah. Because I learned that when I got to college. Because when I got to college, the head coach latched me directly to the starting quarterback at the time. Yeah. And we traveled. When we traveled, we lived together. When we was in meetings, we sat next to each other. So it's like I was next to his hip pocket, and it's like our relationship started to build, and I started to learn things from him that were very helpful for me becoming a college quarterback and understanding and handling that atmosphere and those different type of things. So that was my thing for Patrick. Get in Javonte's hip pocket, learn everything you possibly can from him, and then after that, we'll be able to move forward. And that's just how it started, and then it just became a mission to me personally. Yeah. Like, I know what I said and I know what I see, and I got to bring it out of this kid. Like, it's up to him, but I knew that he wanted it, but it's like, okay, now we just got to bring it out. Yeah. Now we just got to bring it out. And that's when it just kind of, the work started getting put in. Yeah. The work started getting put in. And it was like his sophomore year was like a reality check. You understand that, hey, I got to be better. Yeah. And it was like that offseason, we put in the work. And it was like other kids, I was able to reach other kids. And it mainly started with the younger kids. Yeah. And I say honestly, in majority of my time of training quarterbacks, it's been more the younger generation, which is actually good for me because I believe if you can fix those mechanics when they're young, you don't have to deal with those battles when they're older. Yeah, and I think sometimes that can be my toughest battle when a kid is 16, 17, and now you're trying to change something. Yeah. Now they've been doing bad for so long, now I'm trying to change it. Now that you're going into your senior year, now you're going into your junior year, it's tough to change those things. Yeah. But if I can get you now at 8, 9, 10, or 11, or 12, I get you up in those ages where you're still trying to figure things out, then you can be a lot cleaner. And then now you try to see your development change. So next thing you know, by the time you're 13, 14, you're able to go to these camps and combines and compete with some of these other guys who are doing that. Yeah. Guys who are nationally ranked quarterbacks, they're training with quarterback trainers at young ages. Yeah. You know? Yeah. So it's like being able to do that and building that up with Patrick and seeing him accepted made me fall in love with it because he accepted the grind and he accepted the work because I was able to, like in my training sessions, you have to ask some of mainly my older guys, like when I train with them, I put a mixture of all three of that trio. That's why it kind of falls back to them because I kind of give them that hard nose from my pops, like, hey, this ain't going to be easy. Like, stop crying, you know what I'm saying? Like, suck it up because it's going to be a game where you're going to get hit, you got to get back up, you done made a run, you got to go back and make a throw, whatever. Yeah. You got to fight through that. And then at the same time, I'm giving you a mix of my mama where I'm mixing in that trash talk. Yeah. Or you thought you made a good rep, do it again. Yeah. Or you did it twice, okay, do it again. Like, I'm keep coming at you and I'm going to keep testing you mentally to see, like, okay, is you going to break? Is you going to break, you going to crack? But then at the end, in the mix of all that, I'm giving you that love, let you know when you do make three bad throws in a row, give you a little tap, take a deep breath, regroup real quick, inhale, exhale. All right, let's get back to it. Yeah, because it's just like riding a bike, but let's just regroup, take our time real quick, and let's get back to it. Yeah. So it's like I kind of mix all that in with my training session, let them know like it's tough, but at the same time I'm gonna love on you and let you know that when you wrong, you right, you right. And I'm just trying to help you build. Yeah. Just trying to help you build.
That's good, man. So I'm gonna tell you one of the things that I think the quarterback keeper. What do you feel the meaning is behind that?
I don't want to be technically like in a biblical way,
Yeah,
but as in like keeper, just kind of because when you play football to play quarterback keeper, most of the time the quarterback keeper is usually a fake and the quarterback keeps the ball.
yeah,
And so it's kind of like I view myself as that quarterback that's keeping the ball, but that football is those guys that I train and those
yeah,
guys that I work with.
yeah,
So it's like I'm being that person that I needed when I was a high school quarterback. I even tell those guys now, like, man, if I had what y'all had when I was in high school, I could have been so much further if
yeah,
I would have had like, somebody who's 8, 9 years older than me, a big brother, a coach, a mentor, all in one that I could just call up and just rant about anything.
yeah,
I'm dealing with this, hey man, this blah blah blah
yeah,
blah, and at the
man.
same time, I'm letting you know the reality of it, how to deal with it, how to handle that situation. And like I said, most of my older guys, they know I'm open. And sometimes they abuse it.
Yeah.
They'll call 10 o'clock, 10:30, man, blah 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 blah, and I'm like, okay, calm down, understand, blah blah blah. Okay, give them a better perspective on things, and we're able to move forward.
Yeah.
But it's like just being that person that I needed when I was younger.
Yeah.
Just being that person, that individual that guys can actually train with somebody that played the position. Somebody who's kind of, you can say, been there, done that, had all the accolades. It's cool, I'm fine, I'm done. But it's like somebody who's been there, done that, the things that you're trying to strive, they can explain to you how to get to those things and how to exceed all of those things and to continue to work hard and be better at your craft. So it's like just me being there for those guys, being that big brother, that mentor.
Yeah.
Anybody that they can reach out to is what I enjoy.
Yeah, man. That's good stuff. I see it as I literally see it as the responsibility. The quarterback is what you are, and all the characteristics of what a quarterback is: a leader, a mentor. Just like you said, if you come to me with anything on the field, off the field, we can discuss it. Let's get through. Let's get make a clear decision about whatever's going on. But the keeper part, I feel like the keeper part is a responsibility.
Yeah.
A lot of, especially African American men, we have a lot going on. We battle a lot in the world by itself, but we was built for this.
Correct.
So you being able to do what you do and then impact and pour into young men to change their perspective, that is the Bible. That's kingdom stuff. Yeah. It's people attached to, when you make up your mind to follow God and do what he said, his plan, then there's people already attached to you that you're supposed to guide and help, period. And I feel like that's what your platform is doing. So, yeah, I pray much success on all this stuff, man, that it's going to be big, that you're going to have people coming out of from all around the world to do this.
Thank you. Yeah, I can say my two oldest right now, which is, like I said, Patrick Blake, one's going to Shaw University, and Randy Gerald, JJ Jr., he's going to Fort Valley State. So those are kind of like, and we all are HBCU quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Like I played for HBCU, and both of those guys are going to HBCU. So it's like, when you look back at it, God ultimately had a plan. So you just got to just, you want to stir off the road a little bit, but you got to just stay focused and just listen. Yeah. And he's going to point you in the right direction.
Yeah, man. That's good. Staying disciplined, man, and you moving like you are. That's good stuff, man. Big ups to your mom, your dad, and your grandma, for real. Yeah. It's stuck, man. Nah, part 2.
Okay.
You met somebody.
Yeah.
And then you're married.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So now, not only are you, how old are you, AJ?
Right now, 27.
27.
27.
Bought your first house for your birthday at 24. Made a decision. You had a son in college. Bought your first house at 24. Your birthday present. And then right after that, here it is, 3 years later, you made a bigger decision to get married. Mm-hmm. How is that?
It's part of me and God's plan. Like our little mixture of putting things together.
Yeah.
Because ultimately I knew in high school that that Johnisha was the love of my life. I knew it then.
Yeah.
But you know how people kind of be, young, all that type of
yeah.
stuff, And I kind of fought those things too.
Yeah.
Starting not really understanding. But it's like coming out of college, it's like, okay, what type of foundation do I want to set?
Yeah.
Because me as a person, I'm building an empire. So where do I need to start?
Yeah.
So first things first, it was like getting ourselves established. Now we have a foundation, we have a home. So regardless, anything happen, she has a place, I have a place, so we can come back and lay our head. We don't have to worry about no renter coming in here trying to evict us, or somebody telling us we can't do this, we too loud, we can't do that. This is our place. This is our home. So at least I just want to lay down that foundation first to solidify that we were in a stable situation.
Yeah.
To make sure, just to provide for her so she could be stable. I didn't want her to be in a situation to where we going from apartment to apartment, we moving from place to place, and we coming back to parents' house, and no, it's like
I got all them T-shirts, so I got every last one.
So my thing is like just setting that foundation for her. So it's like once I was able to kind of get that foundation established, get us set, got comfortable and understanding, and because that first year, 2 years was really understanding the process.
Yeah.
Like with bills, and it's like me and my dad joke all the time. It's like they come on a cycle.
Oh yeah.
And it's like they come in the mail that same day on every month.
Yep.
They in that mailbox. And they roll around, you don't get a break. Nobody say, hey, we're gonna give you the month of August off.
You've been paying for 12 years every day. You've never been late.
Never been late, but you don't get a day off. So it's like getting that understood for the first 2 years and just getting that format down so where I can understand what was coming in, what's going out, and all those different type of things. And then it's like now I started to realize, okay, that's checked off. We kind of got something built here. Now I need to bring a queen into the castle, like somebody that I can kind of lay down this foundation to solidify this house into a home.
Yeah.
So just going through that process, and me, I'm a big car wash guy.
Yeah.
So that's when I have my therapy, and then I have my talks with God, and we just rant back and forth.
Yeah.
And so that's in the midst of me just having that talk and just having that understanding and just kind of figuring things out. And I'm like, okay, it's the time. It's the time. And then I had me and my son had a private conversation, and I just kind of was chatting with him, just getting some feedback, and he gave me the green light.
Yeah.
And once he gave me the green light, I felt 100% at peace with it. And I was like, okay, well, let me go through the chopping block, everybody that I need to notify, how things going, what's my plan.
Yeah.
And then you go from there.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. So does it feel different, her being your girlfriend, her being your wife?
No.
So in your mind, she was already your wife?
Technically. But before we even get to that, we take pride in being best friends, most importantly. So I think, and that's how we started, as being just friends, being best friends with each other, and just being cool. It was never anything past that. It was just like being just really cool with each other and just having conversation.
Yeah.
And so it's like we take pride in that. So, and I always told her, I was like, even after April 3rd on the 4th, nothing changes. Like the same things we've been doing before the 3rd is the same things that continue now. We just continue to grow and elevate as a unit.
Yeah.
So it's like, before we might have been technically single when you look at it, but now that we're a union, now we're just elevating and growing as one. So now it's no different. She's still the same. So anybody who know Johnisha, they technically they know
she's still the same.
She's still the same.
Yeah.
So
that's good stuff, man. This is part of your legacy. It's a part of your legacy. Everything you're saying that's out your heart, that I can feel that is pure. This is, you on your way, man. You well on your way. This is how you do it. This is how you do it, man. All right. So, crazy thing. We talked about quarterback keeper. So, who are the 3 people, you already told me that influenced you?
Oh yeah, you know.
You already told me the 3 people. All right. What are some of the best resources that you had along the way from going? I know you're 3 people, but when was it ever somebody just said something that caught your attention that you knew came from God? You might not have been connected with this person like that, but something just happened and you was going through something and somebody just said something that was a major.
I'm trying to think because the biggest thing I can think of is like coaches.
Yeah.
In that manner, Ooh. Well, I can think of one coach who was very influential, as in motivative, in the things that he said, and kind of gave me like that, because that was like the first time a coach ever kind of praised me.
Yeah.
And that was from rest in peace to a great coach, Coach Mark Case.
Oh,
He's a
yeah.
Overthorpe legend, and worldly, citizens I love him. He's a great guy all around. And he was my coach in middle school. He was a basketball coach from my 7th and 8th grade year, and it was like he was the only coach to kind of praise me and told me that, hey, you actually have a chance. If you just work hard, you do what you need to do, you have a chance to really be successful.
Yeah.
And whatever you do, because he knew that I was a football player also, but he would always say that you have the potential. And it's like at the same time you hear somebody tell you have the potential, and you get home and it's like you need to keep working. You ain't did nothing yet. You ain't proved nothing yet. And I'm sitting there like, well, we did just do that, and I just made this all-star.
Yeah.
I just did that, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
that don't mean nothing. It's like, okay, well, I guess it don't mean nothing. So I kind of looked at it like, that's the accolades. Okay, I didn't do anything yet.
Yeah.
But it's like he was a person that was always very positive, very helpful. But at the same time, when I came out there and I didn't give my all, when he knew that those days where I was just kind of like maybe going through the motions, then he would get on me.
Yeah.
And like I said, the first time he did it, I was thinking like, hey, you were so nice, and I'm thinking you were going to be I'm going to treat you like an ultimate superstar.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, you gave me that love, but at the same time, you gave me a reality check when I wasn't living up to my potential and what I was supposed to be doing for myself. So it's like him, crossing that path with him was very important. Like I said, with middle school is that middle point of your life when you get ready to bridge into high school. And as kind of life to gets more realer, and things start to happen in life. So it's like having him being that positive guy. I mean, he was a guy that followed me through high school all the way through college. He was always somebody who reached out.
Yeah.
We stayed in contact, which was weird, because usually sometimes, especially as in he was my coach and a teacher and things like that. But a teacher technically to stay in contact and actually follow your career all the way through and life after. So it's like he was always he was a great person that I was able to meet, and a person that I was able to pick his brain and learn from him at a great point in my life.
That's good stuff, man. All right. So all right, you had mom, dad, you had grandmama. Everybody ain't got that.
True.
What advice could you give to that young man who has the potential to be a great athlete, but just does not have the support? What advice, or someone who has the support and he's just straying off? What advice would you give to a young man or young woman, young person, period?
Well, first thing I like to tell, especially like my quarterbacks and things like that, even like I said, even as a teacher, when I speak to those individuals, first thing I like to tell them is, before anything, look in the mirror.
Yeah.
Look in the mirror and look at yourself and question yourself, like, okay, how do I want to live my life? How do I want to be in 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now? Do I want to be, like I said, with social media, people get so caught up with social media and seeing those lifestyles and all those type of things, but you got to disregard that and think about the reality of what your life can be like.
Yeah.
So those individuals, like I tell those, look in the mirror and it's up to you. Like, it's not your surroundings, because like I said, me still having the trio, it still was up to me to still put that work in. When it came to the classroom, they weren't taking those tests for me. They weren't doing no homework assignments for me. And when it came to to sports, they weren't lifting those weights, running those laps, doing those things. So it still was up to me to do that. So even if you're a person who does not have that support system, if you really want to be great, you can do those things on your own. You don't need a coach or a trainer to train you on your running, getting yourself in condition, being in the best shape possible. You lifting weights with your school, different things like that. So it's like, there's no excuses, because you have the opportunity, but it's up to you. How do you want to live your life? How great do you want to be?
Yeah.
So I know we can all look in this moment here, but look at the future and say, what do I want my life to be? And you have to kind of come at that crossroads kind of early in life, which people don't try to look at, because it's like, oh, I'm still young and mom and daddy still doing this and doing
I
that. Got time. And that's the thing people don't understand. Time waits on no man.
No.
And time flies.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're not striving for those things and thinking about at 16, if you're not thinking about 25, then you're already behind the 8 ball.
Yeah.
You have to already be thinking about, in 10 years, where do I want to be? Do I want to be still at home with my parents? Or do I want to be getting myself established? Or what route do I want to be? Am I going to be in the military? Am I going to still be maybe get my doctorate or whatever? Like, you need to go ahead and have that plan in your head. And whoever you have as your support system, run that plan by them. Yeah. Go ahead and kind of give them a bug. If it's a situation where you know you're going to be in school till you're 25, 26, hey mom or hey dad or grandma, whoever, I plan on getting my doctorate. I'm going to be in school for a while. This is the plan. Can you kind of help guide me on this plan?
Yeah.
You know, can you kind of be there for me? But it's ultimately to your want. It's up to you if you really want it. Because anybody can sit there and say, oh yeah, I want to be great. I want a nice house. I want a nice car. But you have to really want those things. Yeah. You can't just say you want it. You have to really believe and look in the mirror and say, okay, that's the lifestyle I want, and that's the lifestyle I'm going to get. It's not like, oh, that's the lifestyle I want, and I'm just going to sit here and wait for it just to fall in my lap, because it's not going to happen. And then next thing you know, you look up, you 35, 40, and you trying to figure out
where I went wrong.
And it's kind of like, now, go ahead and jump on those things early to get ahead of the pack.
Yeah. So. All right, what makes you feel inspired? Like, what makes you feel like your best self?
Make me feel like my best self? As the quarterback keeper, what makes me feel the happiest in that situation is when my guys get recognized and when they get accolades and when they get those honors and those awards. That really gives me joy.
Yeah.
And you know, and they'll tell you, like, me personally, keep me out of that. Like, you put the work in.
Yeah.
I'm just there as a voice. I'm there, somebody just saying, hey, you go around this, you go around that, you do this, you do that. But you're the person that's actually coming out there at your set time, putting that work in, hot, it might start drizzling, it might be cold, whatever the situation is. So kind of keep me out of that, because that's an applause to you. But at the same time, we got to keep working. Yeah. So it's like, that makes me joy when I see my guys have all region, all state, all those different type of accolades. I love it. And even to my younger guys, when they win their 10 and under championships, I love that, because it's like, me deep inside, I'm like, that's my guy and he's a winner. Yeah. So now that gives me more fuel going into next year, that you have to, if you already a winner, you got to keep that established. Yeah. Or if you lost the year before, now I got extra fuel, because, okay, now you're known as maybe not being a clutch quarterback or something like that. So it's just all those different type of things, but mainly just seeing those guys get those accolades and get those different types of awards. But what really inspires me as a person, my family. My family is my ultimate inspiration. My family is my ultimate inspiration. I feel as though I have a very small circle. I don't really, deal with a whole lot of people, mainly more so family. And anybody who's in my circle, you're technically looked at as family. Yeah. So it's like, I always look at all those individuals. I can look at everyone in my circle and kind of get that inspiration, to kind of get that motivation at the same time to push forward, keep going forward, keep being better, because you never know who's watching. Right. And I was always told that, and that's a piece of mom's pie, because her thing was, you never know who's watching. Exactly. And that was always, as a quarterback, anytime you step on that field, regardless of, even if you just tossing, you playing around regardless, you never know who's watching. Yeah. And so it's one of those things where, like, I can look at those individuals and look at other individuals and kind of say, like, at the same time, you never know who's watching. So I have to stay focused. I have to keep myself on the right path. Yeah. Because you never know, it could be some guy that I may have never met, but may know of me, and may be following my lifestyle and seeing how he is and how he's conducting himself and how he's taking care of his business. Yeah. A guy could be inspired by that. Yeah. So just me, that's just my motivation, just to be better for this generation, as in, when people like to say, like, OGs. Like, our OGs is like, yeah. Y'all were iffy. People were like, hit or miss. It was like, you had some, and then you had something that was just, it wasn't really built for that. But it's like, I want to be that OGs for this next generation to say, hey, you can be successful as a black male, and you can be successful as a black male young.
Yeah.
But it's not with, oh, this person, that person. It's up to you.
Yeah.
If you're willing to make those sacrifices, and if you're willing to do things that are not so cool, not so popular, and not, what everybody else is doing, if you're willing to make those sacrifices, it'll work out in the end.
Yeah.
It definitely works out in the end. That's why I kind of look at myself in that situation. Like, those sacrifices I made for those first couple of years coming out of college, not really being able to enjoy as much, because I'm working and I'm bringing in money, but I'm staying at home. But it's like I'm trying to balance all this and being smart and saving up for this and saving up for that, and not going on a trip here and going on a trip there, just like playing the smart game. It's like now I'm finna get into that point to where I can start enjoying my life, and it's like now I can enjoy my life differently than I could back then.
Yeah.
And that's how I look at traveling. Like, I'd rather sacrifice those things now, so when we start to travel, we gonna really travel. Like, we gonna really like go and enjoy ourselves and not worry about, well, the light bill do.
Yeah.
No, all that's gonna be taken care of, and we gonna go over there and spend X amount of dollars. We worry about that credit card bill at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Other than that, that's how I look at traveling now. I don't want to. Back then, I was able to travel, but I was able to travel on a budget.
Yeah.
I don't want to travel on a budget anymore. I want to put myself in that situation where I can actually enjoy. If I go to Texas, Hawaii, California, any place like that, I want to actually go and enjoy those states, and not just go and just kind of get the appetizer of that whole living.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. So at the beginning of the session, man, I asked you, what did you think your identity and your purpose was in the beginning? And you explained that. What do you think your identity and purpose is now?
Right now?
Yeah.
It's to be that helping hand for the next generation. To be that guy that, like I say, right now is mainly because it's quarterbacks and being a coach and being a part of a team, just kind of being that big brother, that mentor, somebody that's close to them, but just being that guy that can to ultimately be that guy that I needed. Yeah. Somebody that I can count on, somebody that I can call on, that kind of take their personal opinion out of it. Yeah. Take like the personal stuff out of it and just give me the honest truth on this situation here. Yeah. So it's like somebody just that understanding, somebody that can kind of be there and help structure the next young man that's 13, 14 right now. So once he gets to that point where he's 25, I'm able to look back at it and we'll still be in contact and be like, oh, I see you bought that first house at 24, 25. And kind of just and be able to look at it and be like, so you were listening, you were paying attention, and be able to kind of revert back to those type of things. Because like we have mom, we had dad, we have uncles, we have aunties, and sometimes we need somebody who may not be directly connected, but somebody that can kind of still keep it real with us and tell us when wrong is wrong, when right is right, and what we ultimately need to do. Because sometimes your parents can tell you to work hard, but sometimes you may need somebody else to tell you, hey, you need to work hard. And maybe it'll kind of click for you. Yeah. But ultimately, just being that guy that I can just help the next generation, help the next young man just to continue to build. And just, right now it's really just Savannah, but just however far it goes, I'm willing. Yeah. I'm willing. And guys know, like, my group now, I'm a phone call, text message away. We chop it up. Anything we want to talk about, anything we want to discuss, I'm right here for you. Yeah.
So just in case anybody watching really didn't understand what he was talking about, the era, the OG. So right now, what he's talking about is I am a part of that generation who the OGs that a lot of us dropped the ball on. That we should have been there. We should have been telling them not to do stuff. We should have been, that's where we should have came. Yeah, his generation, y'all a different breed. Because back in the day, you can say something to a young fella and they'll listen. Right. Now you got young people thinking that they're the same age. The respect and the honor is not there. Right. I also believe that it's certain ways how you talk to them. But the greatest thing that I love about this is what your generation is doing and how you're bold with it. You're not afraid. You're bold with it, and you're confident in what you're doing. And your legacy is just not your wife and your son. Right. You see your legacy, the platform for your legacy is international. Right. Anybody who comes in contact with AJ, life will be changed. Correct. That's how you see it. Yeah. anybody you talk to for a second that joins your quarterback keeper. It does not matter.
Yeah. Especially once you technically like join the family.
Yeah.
I feel as though like with the QBK, like we're a family.
Yeah.
And from my youngest to my oldest, I want you to be able to rely on those high school guys. Like if I have a middle school guy, I want you to be able to reach out to one of my high school guys and say, hey, what is it like in high school? Or one of my college guys, hey, what is it like in college? And like sometimes I have my sessions to where I mix and match maybe an older guy, like a senior in high school with a freshman.
Yeah.
Or I may have a middle school guy session finished and I got my college guy session coming in. Or something like that. And I kind of have them y'all rub each other and pick off each other's brains.
Yeah.
You know, try to learn from each other. And just try to still be able to grab something from them because I'm teaching them some things and they go through their own things too. But to be able to pull from them and pull from both of us will only make that younger quarterback even better as he go on and just continue to build a family that way.
So in my lane, I'm considered I guess you would say an expert system builder. So what I can do is come into a situation, build a system that works for anybody who follows the system. And I don't have to be there. So that's one of the things that I do in my job. That's one of the things I do in my personal life is build a system the way I can build it and then walk away from it and then still move. That's what you're doing right now. So in 10, 15, 20 years, you're going to have quarterback keepers who are doing this around the world because of how you grouping them. And it's on a different platform. So it doesn't matter what color you are, nothing like that. You come in, you get this knowledge, and then you share it with the next person.
Correct.
That's how the whole world's supposed to be, man.
And that's how I look at the family.
Yeah.
And that young man, regardless of who you are, what color, ethnicity, regardless.
Yeah.
We're all a family at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And so it's like if I have a guy that's a middle school guy who's just coming into high school and I got a guy that's just going into college, y'all can feed off each other because I can use him as ammo and say, hey, you want to be to where he's at. So you need to work hard and do what he need to do and do everything and just, stay true to who you are and work hard and then you'll be able to get to that level. But at the same time, I'm telling you, you need to be better than him.
Yeah.
So like my youngest, like I tell, his name's King. He's 8. And I'll tell him like his session will be first and then I have my college guys might come after.
Yeah.
And then once this session is over, I tell him, I say, go over there and tell both of them, you're going to be better than both of them. And he walks over there with confidence and tell them, I'm going to be better than both of y'all. And I want him to believe that and walk like that because if you're working at 8 and you stay on the right path and you continue to do what you need to do because he's an excellent student. So you do what you need to do on that field, then you will be better than both of those guys. And that's the plan. So when we look at it 10 years from now when he's graduating college and those guys there, when he's graduating high school and those guys there be out of college, I'm going to be able to call him and say, hey, you remember what King told y'all when he was 8 and he told y'all again when he was 12 and then when his name started ringing at 14, you remember I told y'all that because at that point when his name started ringing, I'm gonna be talking to y'all like y'all remember what I said. Remember what he told y'all.
Yeah.
Remember what he told y'all. He can be but I just think like that's just how the family grows because with him still going through those ropes, he can always count on. Hey, I used to train with him. Now he becomes somebody that he can reach out to and get some knowledge from, get some information from, and then the cycle continues because once he becomes a senior, now you got that next dude that's gonna be another King. 10 years younger than him that's coming up that's going to be, hey, I'm going to be better than you. And then just continue to grow the cycle.
Yeah. I see a great system that you're building, man, that's going to take over the world to where you're going to be able to retire and watch this stuff happen, man.
That's the plan.
Yeah. Be able to retire and watch this stuff happen. I know you said that you kind of dropped the general, but everything you doing is a characteristic of a general. Every single thing you doing.
The name grew on me. Like I said, the only reason I took it off is because of the professional getting into the work world and those type of things. Yeah. But once the name grew on me and I started accepting the name and it kind of just stuck with me. And it's just something that I kind of just enjoy. But it's not, only people know about that is people from the old Facebook days. My guys don't know too much about that.
But the crazy thing is, man, people called you what you was already.
True.
They were calling you what you were already was. Right. And it took a minute for you to catch it. Right. And now you operating as a general in your empire. So I think it'll come back around. You ain't got to put it on, you ain't got to keep it.
Maybe, but it just back then you just didn't see those things. You didn't think about those things.
Yeah.
Life comes full circle.
Yeah. All right, we gonna get. I know this is about 2 hours right here, boy. But this was good, man. I appreciate you coming to the studio, man, and sharing your life. I pray that this helps somebody. It ain't over, and y'all always hear me say that it's not over. Who told you it was over? It's not over. It don't matter how old you are. I'm 49. I'm still doing stuff. I'm still creating stuff. I'm still making stuff happen. I'm still sharing. I'm still connecting. I'm still doing it because it's not over. If you wake up and you breathe and you put them 2 feet on the floor, get to work, man. Get to work. Got a young man, 20. He's working already, been working, and he's smart. Give him your information, man. Quarterback keeper.
Instagram at QB Keeper 1, and on Facebook it'll be the Quarterback Keeper, all one word. So I just have those 2.
If y'all interested, getting in there. If you need to learn how to be a better quarterback, a better leader, y'all connect with them. Get with them. If you need to be a better leader and want to learn quarterback, get with them with that too. It doesn't matter. You got options. We always tell you, you got options. Use them. Just like Mr. Allen said, the only person that can do it is the person you looking in the mirror, man. So make it happen. Look, bro, I appreciate you coming out with me.
Thank you. Man. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, this was a great conversation, man. I love hearing young men talk like this. All right, y'all, we go wind it down, wind it up, whatever we go do. We about to be out, man. This is Johnnie Mobley Jr. with Chop It Up, talking to my man, my son in love. And when he married to my daughter. He been in the family for a little minute, so. But Mr. Allen Gifford Jr.
Thank you.
One part of the legacy.
I appreciate this opportunity.
Yeah, man, absolutely. All right, y'all, we finna be out, man. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Take the nuggets, use them, be equipped, man. Peace out.